So I have just bought this mini motorcycle to see if I can fix it up and flip it on and try and make a profit. So I'm pretty sure it won't take too much to get this thing running, but in order to sell it and make a profit, it's going to need a really good cleanup and a bit of tarting up here or there. So let me show you what I've got. Like everything else on this channel, it's pretty dirty. It's got its rust, and other than it not running right now, it does have a cracked screen and a broken brake lever mount. So I've gone ahead and I've ordered a new set of brake levers, so they'll be coming later in the week. I can't really find a screen, but we'll deal with that later in the video. It would also benefit from a couple of new foot pegs, but we'll see how much those are going to cost, and we'll come to the costings later in the video. But otherwise, the tyres are good, and I really don't think it'll take too much to get this thing going. So all in all, I don't think this bike is in too bad of a shape. A bit rough around the edges, but before I get into cleaning it and tidying it up, the most important thing is to make sure it's running. So let's start with some fresh fuel and we'll go from there. So this bike is a 50cc two-stroke engine, which means it needs two-stroke oil in the fuel. Luckily my dad had some laying around in the shed, so I didn't actually have to buy any. It actually runs on a ratio of 1 milliliter of two-stroke oil to every 25 milliliters of fuel. So I went ahead and mixed that up in the can, shook that up and put it in the bike. So let's see if this thing starts. So there was a few almost starts there after putting some fuel directly into the combustion chamber, or spark plug, or whatever you want to call it. But other than that, there's not really much sign of life. One thing I have noticed is that when I open the fuel tap, the fuel is absolutely pouring out from the overflow hose from the carb. So possibly an issue with the carb, where the fuel is obviously not coming through the carb, it's just filling up and coming out the overflow. Not quite sure. I was hoping I wouldn't really have to go taking the carb off and do things like that. I thought a bit of fresh fuel might just jump into life, but it could be, jets could be blocked. It could be, the float mechanism might not work in the carb. Could be a number of things, but let's take a look at this. Okay, so switched up the location a little bit just to make this thing easier to work on, because obviously I don't have a workshop or anything like that, so it's just on a table up my back garden. So apologies for any background noise. We're just going to jump straight into this, and I'm just going to start by taking that airbox off right there, just so I can check if the actual slide inside the carb is moving, because if that's not moving, then we need to work out how to free that up. So let's go ahead and get that off and take a look inside there. Okay, so we're going to do a bit of a fast forward here because there's been a slight change of plan. I was taking the carb off. As you can see in the background there, I've actually already got the engine off. So I did take the carb off, started cleaning it down, did a whole thing where I filmed it all, stripping it down, cleaning it, and put it back together. However, the carb was still leaking, so it means there's a problem in that carb that I just can't fix. So I've actually already gone and got a new one, which has come with a new air filter. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put this one on, film me buttoning that all back up, put that on and see if it actually runs now. So let's go ahead and jump to that. Swagger down the street. Okay, so new carb is on, engine and exhaust are all bolted back in place. I haven't put the chain or anything back on yet because I'm just going to try and see, one, is it still leaking, and two, does it run? So I'm going to open the fuel tap and then we're going to start giving it a few pulls to see if we can get some fuel going through it and bring this thing to life. So that was a bit of life. That's the most life we've had out of it so far, so let's try that again. It runs! So new carb definitely did the trick there. It pretty much jumped straight to life, so I'm super happy with that because that was actually really simple. Now it's time to get the chain back on, get the chain guard back on, and then we'll put some time in to get it nice and clean, and then we'll start looking at flipping this thing. So let's go. Okay, so chain and chain guard are back on. Let's get this thing running and see if it actually moves. So with the bike now running and riding, I decided it was time to get this thing as clean as possible. So I started at the front forks using a bit of 1500 grit wet and dry and some wire wool to try and get that rust down as much as possible, get that pitting out and get the metal underneath shining again. And then I went over the whole bike with a good scrub and some soapy water just to get all the muck, the dirt and the grease off as possible. Bike washed down, it's time to get the new parts on. I actually went ahead and got the new foot pegs and the brake levers because obviously they were broke, and to get a better price for the bike these needed doing, so I went ahead and got them on and put them on. So that is this mini project done. It's now running, it's cleaner, it's tidier. Is it fully rust free? Not even close, but hey ho, this wasn't a full restoration. This was just a quick flip it and see if we can make a profit challenge. So I'm going to aim to get about 120 quid for it, but I'll probably accept any offer over 100 quid because, you know, if I don't sell it at a cheap enough price, it'll probably sit around forever. So let's get into the costs. So I paid just 50 quid for the bike, which wasn't too bad. I've seen them sell for more than that as non-runners, so it was not a mega bargain, but you know, a good starting point. I paid $4.99 for the footrests. I paid £10 for the carburetor, which I was hoping I didn't have to buy, but I did anyway. And $6.99 for the brake levers, which all in puts me at 72 quid. So there is a little bit of profit to be made. It was an enjoyable little project. Obviously, as always, I got to do a bit of learning. I mean, I've never taken an engine out of anything. I know it's only a little 50cc engine, but you know, I got to do that and, you know, get to grips with how one of these things works. So maybe in future I'll do maybe a full restoration on one of these. I think that'd be quite cool. You know, strip back the frame and learn to respray all that. So who knows, we'll maybe tackle that in another video. But I'm going to stick this on Facebook Marketplace now and see what sort of offer I get. I'll put the how much profit I make at the end of this video once the bike actually sells. But you know, I'm looking to make upwards of 30 quid, which is not bad considering I've probably only got a couple of hours, maybe 2-3 hours tops into this thing, and a lot of that was just time spent trying to work out what exactly I was doing, because you know, I'm no professional. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just winging it as I go along. But hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, and you know, subscribe for more content. And you know, like I said, maybe I'll do another one of these in future. But thanks for watching.